Hello, fellow makers. I thought we'd get started with our Glowforge here. As you can see, sorry about the noise, but that's the Glowforge and the, not so much a Glowforge, but the filter running. So you know we're actually running something. We have a Glowforge Plus. I've already picked some material to throw in to test something. Um, So let's talk about getting started with Glowforge. So there's the Glowforge app, and the owner of the Glowforge, the email that owns the Glowforge kind of thing, needs to allow you to have access to the Glowforge. So there's that. You can't just log in on your own and get to it. So make sure that. And then there's home and my designs, and they've got all these starter designs here, which are nice. Some folders to look for different things. Of course, it's no designs in Smart Folder. Uh-oh. Yeah. So, back to home. Um, so, I've got a whole bunch of designs, things I've already done, obviously. I don't know how long they stay for. I'm thinking if you're not a Plus member, they're going to go away after a while. But let's look at the idea of create a new design. So, there's create a blank design, which you can just use the Glowforge app to design some stuff, and not a lot of people do that from what I hear. Most people upload an SVG or JPEG or PNG that they've created elsewhere, and there are different places to do that. I'm using a site called cuddle.xyz. A friend uses Silhouette Studio. I imagine Tinkercad because it can export an STL. I haven't, or a SVG, but I haven't done that workflow yet. And then the trace the design, where you can use the camera to get something you've hand drawn. So upload a file kind of means you have a file already. So let's get us to my Cuddle XYZ, where I've created this file, and we'll do a whole other set of videos on designing. But one thing that someone did recommend to me is that if I want to do different things like engrave, score, cut, that I should do them in 3 different colors. So like my cut is my red, which is a typical color for some of the design softwares. So I made it red. And it doesn't matter what red it is because the Glowforge is not reading the color. Whereas in some other ones for like vinyl and for laser, it's got to be a red. So, but also doesn't matter. And then I made this, I don't even know what color that is, that color. Blue, purple. I just went up and grabbed a color. So it'd be different. So those are going to be my score, and that's going to be my engrave. So now we need to export the SVG, and then we go to Glowforge, and we want to upload a file. Now we can upload SVG, JPEGs, or PNGs, but again, the JPEG and PNGs are engrave only. So if you got like a tile that's already cut to shape and size that you want to engrave, boom, perfect, fine. So actually I had already done this one, but that's okay. So we upload, it goes through this processing, it's thinking. Now it's going to come up with, it's going to want to choose the material. The piece I have in there has a barcode on it, so it might automatically recognize it. Oh, it did. So up here, it recognized this barcode, this QR code, as a medium draft board. But obviously, you can go in and choose some of the the Glowforge stuff. But you don't have to just use Glowforge stuff. You can just pick your own settings. Like, for example, it came up with settings it says everything's a cut. Well, at least it separated it all out, which is really nice. It separates it all out. Well, I don't want to cut that. I want to engrave that. And then I want to look at the settings, and I can adjust them. That's their settings, their default settings for medium draft board. And until I know any better, I'll just stick with those, right? But when you know better, keep a list. You want to do a lot of sample cuts, a lot of sample engraving on various materials, and keep records, pictures of how things come up. Some people create this nice little, I'll show you here. This nice little board. Well, you're not going to see that board because I'm not on the camera. I'll show you a board later. But you can change these. So that's engraved. I want this to score, right? Okay. And the idea of score is you've got a single line font, so it doesn't have to engrave a whole bunch of pixels. And that's fine. Cut. Sometimes with the cuts, I worry. Oh, draft 168. That's going to take a little bit, huh? I slow them down just to make sure they cut through until I know that that's the right number. Okay. So now I need to place my thing. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go down here. Now you see it's in color. And if I go too far over there, the color changes. That means it's out of range of what the camera thinks it can work on. So just kind of place it. Now, placement's not always perfect with the cameras. I found some of them to be like a 1/4 of an inch off. Tried to calibrate it, doesn't want to do it for me. So that might actually engrave a 1/4 inch to the side, so, one direction. And like this one did it to the left. So you got to be careful with that. So I hit do that, and if I love all those things, it's going to cut basically there. I click up here on print. It's going to calculate. Go through all these things. Yes, we're doing real time here. Now, draft board's a little thicker than the plywood I use, so it's going to take a little bit longer than plywood I had done the other day. Come on. Don't. Yeah, it was about 2:30 the other day, so this is going to be 3:34. And now we head over to the Glowforge. Now this is the camera, and we press that white button that's flashing at us. That's all we do. And it should. Start working. So, now I mentioned a board. Some people create a board like that on their materials, and they just do a whole bunch of variety of things. Some even do cut to show you what settings need to be for cut. This was for our full spectrum. I don't have a sample board like this for the Glowforge. So that they always know what settings they want it to be. So, now that's going to cut for a little bit, but what I do want to talk to you about, let me move the camera one more time. So this is a board that I tried to find the borders. I said, so it gives you a 12 by 20 space, but it doesn't do all 12 by 20. I put the artwork as far as I could before it went bad on me. And as you see, that is about a 3/4 inch space over here that can't be used. It's only about a 1/4 inch on the bottom, which is pretty good. I would like that. But again, it's also at the top. You know, that 3/4. But the top has a definite 3/4 border that it can't work on. And you'll see that when you go to put your artwork on, it'll change to like that maroon color and say, no, we don't see anything there. Now, interesting thing when I did this board, you see the right side is a pretty good, again, like a 1/4 of an inch. But the funny thing was, when I first set this artwork, it was actually into the left farther. But then I opened the window door, and it rescanned, and it let me push the artwork out further to the right. I don't know why. I don't know if it's going to do that all the time. So just realize you're not going to get all 12 by 20. So we're cutting. Let's go back to the app. It says it's got another minute to go. I don't think you need to listen to me for another minute, but let's see what it's got done already. So let me move the camera and let's see what the webcam shows us. Boom. There we go. So, thanks. Talk to you later.